Hi, guys. How's it going? Hello, hello. Good to see everybody's face. Georgia, wave to everybody. There's Katie and Raquel, Megan and Julie, Sarah. What's up? Good to see your faces. I'll give everybody just a minute. If you hear that thing in the background, it's the space heater under my desk because it's freezing here. Freezing, freezing cold. Katie, welcome back to Sunday Calls. Holla. Good to see you. You look adorable in your glasses.
Thank you.
Are they blue light blocking glasses?
No, they're my regular prescription glasses.
They're cute. They're super
Thanks.
cute. And there's Marlena. What's up, guys? One more minute and then we'll do some announcements. There's a 50-50 chance Georgia's participating in this call again, like last week. She tends to wake up right about a half hour before this call. And if you guys are familiar with toddlers, that tends to be like witching hour, is post nap before dinner, is what I would call the witching hour, where we have a hard time. And so she tried to go with brother in the other room and it's not happening. So hence my shadow. If you're listening to the replay, you cannot see that my shadow is standing behind me. All right, guys. So we're going to get right to it. Couple quick announcements. So first of all, next week will be pre-recorded. So Sunday is Christmas Day. So it'll be a pre-recorded call. Expect that to come on Monday morning. Because I'll have Brooke send it out Monday morning after Christmas. So you'll have a target for the week. Another announcement is that we are doing another group to go through the Fitme Community Leader Certification, and that will start at the end of January. And so if you are interested in that, reach out to me so I can give you some more info. I'm super excited because the group that's going through it right now has their last training tomorrow. And so we will be certifying our first Fitme community leaders probably by the end of the week, which is really, really fun and exciting. And everybody's just done a great job. So if you are interested in that program, remember, it's basically helping others while you're on your own journey in a way that, like, we're going to be doing a lot of fun, free Fitme community events, which is the other announcement. So in January, we're going to be doing a reset, and it's going to be absolutely free in the Facebook group. We've done resets before in Fitme. We're doing a reset. It's going to be really fun. There's going to be a tracker. You can pick your poison. There's a couple of different options. It's not an all or nothing thing. And so I'll give you guys more details on that coming up. But that's something you can look forward to if this holiday has felt like a lot of sugar or a lot of treats, or maybe a couple extra too many drinks or any of those kind of things. Then you have a reset coming up. And I think that's it for announcements. So last week, I was looking at the calendar and I was really thinking about what would be the most helpful for us to talk about. And last week, I asked you to think back, to use it as a week to consider the year that has passed, because in a couple of weeks, we're going to be talking goals. Like everybody knows, at the beginning of the year is a perfect time to think about goal setting. So we're going to get there. Last week, I asked you to look back on your year and think about the process-oriented things that led to your meaningful moments. So what kinds of strategies did you use to create consistency? How did you show up consistently to create some of the changes that happened over the past year? So it was kind of like taking a look at your wins of the year, but then looking one step further and saying, like, well, what did you do to create those wins? How many Sunday calls did you attend? How many times did you check in with your coach? How many times did you use your tracker or plug your thing into the app? Just like the process sort of things that helped you. How many times did you fill out your calendar with your workouts in it? How many times did you do Sunday planning for your meals? Like what were the process-oriented things that led to some of your successes of the year? And so we were thinking kind of big picture, retroactively, like in the past. I told you coming up, we're going to be looking forward. But this week, I thought it might be helpful just to think about the present. You probably have some holiday parties coming up, however, whatever holiday that you celebrate, we're about to be in that week. And so we talked about enjoying it and being present, but I also wanted to revisit this concept of little wins, because it's very unlikely that over the next couple of weeks that you are going to have like big, gigantic, hold on one second. We've got a iPad situation There you go. Take that and run with it. It's very unlikely that over the next 2 weeks you are hold on. One moment. We're literally crying because the dog drank our milk. Sorry about that. So over the next 2 weeks, you probably got holiday occasions of some kind coming up. And what I want you to focus on is not just being present and enjoying those, but giving yourself the opportunity to practice the strategy of little wins. This is something we talk about over and over and over again in Fitme, but this is the moment in which little wins are meaningful, because it's not likely that you're having the big gigantic wins over the next 2 weeks. I mean, maybe you are, if like you just don't have a lot of stuff that is impacting your day-to-day progress or what you do in your routines. But I know a lot of people have things that are outside of their normal routine right now, whether that's travel, whether that's family, whether that is stress, whether that is work stuff. I know a lot of people have work things that hit hard at the end of the year. There's probably things over the next couple of weeks that are outside of your normal routine. And so this is a perfect time to use the strategy of little wins to acknowledge what you are doing each day so it doesn't feel like a wash. And I know for a fact that this is a thing because on my check-in calls with the clients that I personally coach over the past week, the calls all started with everything's kind of been a mess. And then when we talk it through, there's actually a lot of little wins that were happening there, but it took a minute to like peel back the layers and say, oh, okay, like, yes, you've been having cookies every day, but you also hit your water for the first time ever because you got a new water bottle and you're hitting your water. So that's a little win. And the little win strategy is really important in a season like this. And here's why. Because one of the things we all decided to leave behind as we started on this Fit Me journey was this sort of like yo-yo swing. Everything is crap. I'm going to get back to it in January. That's the yo-yo swing that I'm talking about, where we just go, meh, can't do anything. So I'm just going to put a pin in it and then I'll get back and I'm going to be better than ever when I get back to it. And I'm going to be super strict. And we all decided, or at least some of us have decided for ourselves, that strategy just doesn't generally work well in the long term. It doesn't serve us well. And so this is the moment where instead of thinking like everything's kind of a mess for the next couple of weeks, we are going to do something different, which is it's not a mess. We're going to identify little wins. And little wins are the things that you're doing that you've created as a part of your healthy lifestyle, whether that's eating vegetables, whether that's putting proteins in your meals, whether that's drinking your water, going for walks, getting your workouts in, being kind to yourself, wearing happy clothes, like you name it. There's a bunch of different opportunities to identify things that are little wins over these next 2 weeks. And that's what I want you to do every single day. And so your target for the next week/2 weeks, because again, I think that covers the season that our routine is sort of out of whack, is to write down a little win every single day. Write it down on paper and share it with your coach. A little win that you've done that you can feel proud of, because the point is not to just give yourself a pat on the back. The point is that we're not playing all or nothing. This isn't a nothing season. This is a little win season. And then, yes, you can kick it into gear into January, but it's not going to be perfect then either. And so you might just have more wins than you can put together right now with everything that's sort of outside of our control. And so your target is very specific. I want you to write down one little win per day for the next 2 weeks. And if you struggle to find one on a given day, then that's your reminder to create one for tomorrow. And so use it as an intentional redirect of like, oh, I had zippity zero wins today, which I would challenge if you have 0.00 wins, 0.00, I still don't believe you. I'm sure that there's something, but even if that's how you feel, and there's nobody to tell you at that moment that they don't believe you, then use that as your catalyst for tomorrow. I'm going to create a little win first thing in the morning when I wake up so that I can write something down for my coach. So I just kind of want to hear your thoughts on this. That I don't have to beat a dead horse here. This one's pretty straightforward. I wanted to explain the why. I wanted to explain, in reality, in context, we're probably all a little out of our routines right now. And that's okay, because that's the season for it. What are your thoughts on this target or on little wins? Are you finding them right now already? Or are you struggling to see them? Let me know your thoughts.
Hey, Christy. I think it's the perfect time for it because it's so easy to get lost in all the things that you aren't doing like you normally would. So it's so put up on the fact that I had 2 cupcakes this weekend, a cookie, some cake, sugary coffee. So it would be very to find the win. So if it's something consciously, if it's something on my mind that I have to come up with, then it perhaps will create an opportunity for me to do a little bit less of the other stuff.
Can you think of any from this weekend? Little wins? One?
I can think of a lot of the other stuff. I did get some movement. I did get some steps in.
There you go.
But that's about it.
That's okay. I think that what you said is really important because it's like that whole red car concept. When you get a red car, then you see a red car everywhere you go, you see a red car. So if you are focused on the fact that you had 2 cupcakes, sugary coffee, and a cookie, well, then that's all you're going to see are those things that are not exactly the way that they typically would be for you. And you're going to fixate on those and it's going to feel bad. But if on the other hand, you are looking for little wins, you're probably more likely to create them. And you may be less likely to have a lot of the extra other things, the red cars. So that's a really good insight. Any other thoughts?
I've had a lot of little wins because we went to Disneyland.
Yes,
and I was able to get in Fitme plates, at least 2 Fitme plates a day. We walked 10 miles a day. And I still read some too. So, but the last 3 days we came home and the baby's sick and the 20-year-old's sick. And yeah, it hasn't been just getting water and food in is about all I can do right now. Movement is just a no-go because she just wants to be held all the time. So,
well, that's a huge, I don't know, congratulations on going to Disney and getting in 2 Fitme plates and all of that walking. You should feel really proud of yourself for that because
I do.
Would be an occasion where you'd be just like, I have no control over anything, which isn't always true. You can make it work.
Yeah, we did make it work. There was a place that had chicken salads and I, not the best carb, but added French fries, Yep. We had mashed potatoes and chicken, like a whole leg quarter of chicken and broccoli one night for dinner. So, I mean, there was plenty of opportunity for Fitme plates.
That's so good. Good job.
Now, water was not a win.
That's okay. It sounds like water is doing better though now. You just listed water as something that is happening.
Yes, water is happening now. We were so dehydrated by the time we got home. We had to really up our water intake and make sure we were getting that in.
Nice job. Sweet
toddler
Julie.
Just woke up, so I got to go get her.
I'm glad you shared that because again, that's a lot of people are traveling and they're doing things with family, and that meal that you listed, like chicken, whether it's a rotisserie chicken, some broccoli and some potatoes, you can put that together pretty much anywhere. So great job. Any other little win thoughts? Are you guys actually going to write them down? Sometimes I say that and everybody's like, okay, but then nobody writes them down. But I really want you to actually write them down. That's the point of This target is to write it down, because exactly like what Natika said, it's very intentional for your mind to have to think of the little win, and then for you to write them down. Even if it's just one, then you're going to look for it and create it the next day.
Can I call somebody out?
I just printed myself a calendar to put on the fridge so I can write them down, because otherwise I'm going to forget.
See, who is that?
Nancy.
Yes, that is fantastic. And bravo for being like immediate action taker. So you win all of the gold star points for creating your calendar and putting it immediately in somewhere you're going to see it. So great job.
It's either now or never. I won't get to it if I wait till tomorrow.
Yep. You know what? That is one of my favorite all-time favorite strategies, just in general. When I have a coach in my life, or a mentor or anyone, is that when they give me something and I'm like, yes, that is what I need to do, I do it immediately, or I put it in motion immediately. And that is key. I'll sometimes do things before I even leave, like you just did, before I leave the call, before I leave the room, before I leave the whatever. I'll be like, it's already done. It's in motion. So good job. Amy, were you going to call somebody out? Was that you who was going to say something?
Yes, I wanted to call out Raquel because she's got about 1,000 and she's been writing them down. She might type it in the chat though, because she can't talk right now. But I'm calling her out.
You're going to make her
Make
share.
her do it. Yeah, I am.
I wonder if she can type it in the chat, because if not, then you're going to have to tell us. At
Well,
least
there's
one of
like
them.
87,000. Let's see. She's
There she-
texting me, so I know she's. Oh, is she here?
Uh-huh.
I'm here.
Yay!
I can't do video, but
That's
I'm
okay.
here. I am. I was just texting Amy and I was telling her that I'm the crier and I'm okay with that. But I'm crying because this season has just been a different type of season, and it's been a hard season. So I've really had to search for my little wins, right? Like, it's just, if I got a Fitme plate in, or if I was able to get my water before my coffee, like, I would have to just kind of hold on to that and not focus on all the things that I'm not doing, because like Natika said, it's so easy to do that. Like, I went through the drive-through today, or whatever it is, it's just, it's a different season. And so instead of getting hung up on all of that and beating myself up for it, Fitme has really helped teach me that, hey, that just doing that, being part of the community, reaching out, checking in with my coach. Last week, I didn't get any movement, no intentional movement. Today, I went out and I got my 30-minute walk in, and it felt so good. And that was all that I got. I didn't get any Fitme plates in today, but I got that walk in, and it was just, I checked in with a couple of people and I'm like, I'm doing it. It's cold out here. But it just, I love that we're talking about this, because all of our lives are crazy right now, right? Like, I mean, and just all the time, there's always life happening. Life just happens. And if we can focus and do that intentional thought and write just that one thing down, when you look back to reflect on it, they add up, you keep putting coins in a jar and it adds up. So
Thank you, Raquel. I'm glad that you shared that. And honestly, we appreciate your realness, and you always can be just who you are. And if you're a crier, you be a crier. But you're right. The little things start to add up. And I always like to think of this whenever we have these targets, or we call them opportunities, right? Like, because we could think of this whole season as just impossible challenges. Like, this is all bad or hard or whatever, even if there's good mixed in terms of how we think of our taking care of our bodies or whatever, we might just say it's all negative. But really what it is it's an opportunity. Almost always, if we can reframe a challenge or a struggle as an opportunity, then it changes our perspective on it. And so a holiday season has a lot of joy, hopefully, but it also has some challenges. But if we can just reframe those challenges as opportunities, the opportunity in this season is to practice little wins. Because that is, like Raquel said, something that you can always use. You can use that in January, in February, in July, in September. That little win strategy is something that you can utilize whenever you have challenges, whenever it's a challenging week or a challenging season or just a rough day. That's a muscle you can learn to train and flex. And when you do it, again, it keeps you out of that deep back and forth of like, everything's a disaster or I have to be perfect. Because again, like that mindset, it doesn't tend to serve us well. And so if we can stay out of there, and instead of it being a full disaster, just being like, okay, I had a little win. I was right here. It's not where I want to be, but it's solid. So thanks Raquel for sharing that. Sarah, in your Snuggie, you look like you're getting ready to say something. And your hooded Snuggie.
Can I turn this around? Yes.
Yeah. That's
So,
your kitchen. Mm-hmm.
it's like all I can capture, in terms of, my day is those little wins, is making sure I'm still doing my Sunday planning with Jeremy and planning our meals. We're doing things that are pre-prepared more, like Costco stuffed bell peppers and, those kinds of things that we don't have to have a ton of cleanup, washing my dishes in my bathtub. So, that kind of stuff. Getting my water in, the things I can control. Cause yeah, there's a lot in this house right now that I don't get to.
Sarah, I'm not a typically like a, use throwaway things, but if you're washing your dishes in the bathtub, I mean, feel free to buy yourself some paper plates and stuff,
We're on maximum impact this month is but you can't so far they don't make paper pots and pans. So
oh, true story. True story. But yeah, you're in the holidays and you don't have a kitchen under construction. And so you're going to have to look for little wins.
Yeah, there's no half-assing it around here.
Mm-mm.
We go full chaos.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, we've got people who are moving this month. We have people who are traveling this month. We've got people who are doing all the things, surgeries. It's busy on top of the holidays. So little wins has to be something that we all do together. And in your Marco Polo groups, help other people see the little wins. If you feel like somebody's having a Debbie Downer day and they're like, today was crap, ask them like, hey, the target this week is little wins. There's got to be something from your day that was solid for you. Any other thoughts before we wrap up the call? Sweet, guys. Well, you have your homework for me, which is for 2 weeks. I want you to write down your little wins. And our next live call is going to be January 1st. January 1st. And if you have written down a little win every day from now until January 1st, I will have something for you. But you have to send it to me or bring it to the call. And so I want a little win every single day until January 1st. And anybody who actually does it will get something from me to celebrate the new year and celebrate taking action on this action step rather than just thinking about it. Because thinking about it's not doing us any good. You can be like, yeah, Chrissy, that sounds awesome. I love the little win strategy, and not actually do anything. And it's not helping you. It's like watching someone do like a leg press and be like, yeah, that would work so well to make my leg strong. I'm so glad you showed that to me, and then not do it. Don't do that. Just do it. Because it's a good strategy, but it means nothing if you're not actually utilizing it. So you guys have a phenomenal holiday 2 weeks. Again, there will be a pre-recorded call that will be sent out on Monday of next week on the 26th. If you need anything at all, don't hesitate to reach out. Your coaches have probably communicated with you when they will be, out of the loop. And so if you aren't sure, just, connect with them, but they'll probably let you know if they're going to be out of pocket for a couple of days. But looking forward to talking to you guys on January 1st. All right, guys, take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye all.